Hello! Yeah, boy. Know what it is all day. Boy, D47 in here for real, on the grind all the day, handling that business AM PM, revisiting as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, we're up to the 1971 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League, and so you're not missing any essential rugby league information, watching this video all the way through to the end, just like we always do. So, 1971, it was Western Suburbs who got this wooden spoon, and if you've been watching these wooden spoon videos, if you haven't, you can scroll through this playlist to watch them all. Who got every wooden spoon every year. If you have been watching them, you'll know that West picked up 17 wooden spoons over the course of their history, so this is just another one of them. They had managed to avoid the wooden spoon for quite a few years before this, but unfortunately they got this one in 1971, and in 1980s and 1990s they would get a lot more wooden spoons then. But right now in 1971, they played the 22 games for the season, managing just 4 wins and having 18 losses from the 22 games, so what you'd expect the wooden spoon team to dish up pretty much. And the only 4 games that they did win, all of them at their home ground, all of them at Lidcombe Oval. They did not win one away game for the whole year, believe it or not. We all know it's harder to win games away than it is at home, but you would expect to at least win a few away games over the course of the season. 0 away wins for the whole season. So bitterly disappointing for Western 1971. And their stats, in attack they'd scored 336 points for the season, but in defence they conceded a very alarming 471 points. So the for and against minus 135, very disappointing. But a little bit better, a little something to cheer about. The top try and point scorers for them. The top try scorer, his name was Don Rogers, and he managed to get double-figure tries at least. So congratulations, props to Don Rogers getting 11 tries in the team who got the spoon. That's a noteworthy achievement, in my opinion. And what's also a noteworthy achievement, in my opinion, is the top point scorer, and his name was Tony Ford. And he managed 2 tries, 42 goals, and that's a total of 90 points. Remembering tries used to be 3 points at the time. So, then we move into the moment in the sun first, and the most embarrassing moment. And the moment in the sun, believe it or not, I actually can't believe it. Even though they got the wooden spoon, and even though this was a one-off, in round 1, 1971, somehow, West raced in 11 tries and demolished Canterbury 55 points to 12, believe it or not. Obviously, they didn't recapture that form at any other point in the season, and in some of the games they were losing by similar score in some of the games. But in round 1, 1971, believe it or not, they'd beaten Canterbury 55 points to 12 in front of the rapturous home fans at Lidcombe Oval, which was their home ground at the time. And like we always say, tries used to be 3 points at the time. If tries were 4 points at the time, that actually would have been 66-14. So 55-12 demolition of Canterbury in round 1, which is the equivalent of 66 points to 14 with 4-point tries. But the most embarrassing moment then followed. The most embarrassing moment is the fact that they then, after that huge win in round 1, they then lost the next 11 consecutive games, believe it or not. 11 games tonight, 11 games today, bro. Not good times at all. After a huge win in round 1, they lost 11 consecutive games. And the 11th of those 11 consecutive losses, believe it or not, obviously in round 12, but believe it or not, just happened to be against Canterbury, coincidentally. And in 1955 round 12, Canterbury had taken their revenge and beaten West 26 points to 6 at Belmore Oval, which was Canterbury's home ground at the time. And even though that's not as big a margin as what West had beaten Canterbury by, it's still big enough that it's a heavy loss, and it was their 11th straight loss. So extremely embarrassing indeed for them. So then the only other 3 games that West did manage to win for the season, all at home, like I said. In 1971 round 13, they'd beaten Norths 19-17 at Lidcombe Oval. In round 16, they'd beaten Newtown 26-18 at Lidcombe Oval. And in round 17, they'd beaten Eastern Suburbs 21-17 at Lidcombe Oval. So they did at least manage back-to-back wins in round 16 and round 17. So at least they did that, and at least they won those 4 games at home. But after the round 17 win at home against East, they obviously lost the last 5 consecutive games, and that's how they ended up with the wooden spoon. Look, they might have avoided it if they'd won 2. If they'd won 2 of the last 5 games, they might have just avoided it, but they lost the last 5 consecutive games, just when it looked like they might be playing a bit better. So, very disappointing for West getting the wooden spoon in 1971, but one team does have to get it every year without fail, as we're all aware. And if you're still watching this video all the way through to the end as requested, thank you so much for ongoing, continued, polarising, sick, twisted, malevolent, brutal support. Couldn't do it without all the D47 fans. And what you can also do is go over to my second channel, and that's called D47's Dad Jokes. And on there, it's very fun and stupid, and not serious and very frivolous, and there's a ton of terrible dad joke shorts on that channel. And here, on the Long Form Footy channel, it's serious business at all times, on the grind all day, your boy all day for a rev up in this bitch. Thank you so much for watching, D47.